Buckingham Palace has been accused of trying to bury its inquiry into allegations that the Duchess of Sussex bullied her staff. It is understood that only 4 or 5 former members of the Sussex's team in total have been spoken to as part of the royal household's official investigation into the claims. The couple would have had up to 25 working for them at times, many of whom could be considered potential witnesses. But nothing has been heard since last summer by any of those involved in the allegations. Just over a year since the inquiry was launched, royal officials have so far refused to divulge any of their findings, or even confirm whether the results of the investigation will be included in this year's annual review, due to be published in June, as previously suggested. One source told, "This should have been an opportunity to do the right thing. Now it looks like they're going to do nothing instead." The source added, "It has been a very difficult situation for all involved, but the palace is a very powerful institution and there clearly seems to be a cultural problem of not handling bullying, particularly when you consider some of the allegations about the way Prince Andrew is said to have treated his staff over the years. But it is understood that senior officials believe it is unfair to accuse them of burying the inquiry and that they are all too aware that the public scrutiny of the issue will not vanish." Palisades first announced in March last year that they were launching an internal inquiry into claims that Meghan's behaviour drove 2 personal assistants out of the household and undermined the confidence of a third. Staff were said to have been left in tears and feeling traumatized. The allegations have been strongly denied by the Duchess and her legal team, who have described them as a calculated smear campaign. They have insinuated that the claims were made public to undermine her reputation ahead of her bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey, in which she made explosive claims about the royal family. The royal household subsequently employed a law firm to investigate the allegations, paid for by the family privately. The allegations center on an email sent in October 2018, 6 months after Meghan and Harry married, by Kensington Palace's then Communications Secretary, Jason Knauf. He wrote to Prince William's then Private Secretary Simon Case, who is now the Cabinet Secretary, about her alleged behavior and asking for protection for the female staff he believed were being targeted. Describing Meghan's behavior as totally unacceptable, he wrote, "I am concerned that the Duchess was able to bully 2 PAs out of the household in the past year. The Duchess seems intent on always having someone in her sights, and I remain concerned that nothing will be done." The email was also forwarded to the Human Resources Department. Other witnesses have since come forward to the media to make similar claims. The Duchess's lawyer has challenged the claims of bullying. Critics say this is an unhelpfully narrow scope of inquiry and have questioned what the investigation will actually achieve. Just over a year later, and without those interviewed having heard a peep for at least 6 months, critics are now accusing the Queen's private secretary, Sir Edward Young, of burying the report amid a wall of silence. No one even knows whether they have formally concluded their work, are considering their findings, or are just trying to bury it all, which is actually what the consensus seems to think is happening, one source told the Mail. They haven't even spoken to everyone who was there at the time and will have witnessed what was said to be happening firsthand. It just seems like they wish it would all go away. Yesterday, Christine Pratt, founder of the National Bullying Helpline voluntary organization, said that large employers such as Buckingham Palace has as much responsibility to investigate claims of bullying properly as small ones. Buckingham Palace had initially planned an internal review investigation led by its own HR department, but later opted to outsource the inquiry to an independent legal firm. This is believed to have exacerbated tensions with the Sussexes, who are angry about not being given a say in the process. Launching the inquiry last year, the palace said it would not tolerate bullying and harassment and was very concerned by the allegations. But it also made clear the inquiry would be conducted privately, not least because some of those allegedly victimized are said to have suffered from a form of post-traumatic stress disorder, and that the full findings would never be made public. In other news, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex walked on a yellow carpet before heading inside a giant marquee to meet competitors and their families. While inside the tent, Prince Harry was given a pair of budgie smugglers by Team Australia competitors. The athletes shared the moment on Twitter, saying, "Now that the Duke of Sussex is living in California, Team Australia thought it appropriate to continue the tradition of gifting stunning new budgie smugglers to the Duke." The gift is a nod to the Invictus Games 2018 when Team Australia had given the Prince a similar pair. The 2018 gift had Team Mouse Down Under printed on the back. This year's pair had I Am Team Mouse emblazoned across them. The cheeky gift has garnered a wave of appreciation online. Twitter user @AndyForme said, "Not another one." User @RoseXNor added, Love it, keeping up with tradition.